Hi, thank you for joining us. My name is Joanna Nelson, and I am with the Economic Development Department. And we are hosting a webinar today that's more like an information session on our business loan guarantee program that is for businesses negatively affected by COVID-19. In addition, we'll be getting an update from the SBA, and we will discuss some other resources. So thank you for joining us. I do want to point out, we have a limitation on our webinar platform that only 101 participants can view the slides. You should be able to hear the audio. And we want to point out that this session is being recorded. We will put this on our YouTube page. So you will be able to access this after the webinar session. We will send this link out to everyone that has registered, and we will send a link to the slides, so you will be able to access any live link on the webinar. You also can ask questions as we go. There's a questions box in the right-hand portion of your screen. Please utilize that, and we will answer those questions at the end of the presentation. I'd like to introduce Alicia Keys. She is the Cabinet Secretary for the New Mexico Economic Development Department.
Thanks for putting this together, Joanna. We know that you're all concerned about COVID-19 emergency and how it's going to affect the businesses in New Mexico, especially the small businesses that rely so heavily on day-to-day customer support. The health and safety of all New Mexicans is always our primary goal. But during this time of economic uncertainty, we also want to be able to offer resources and assistance to support our businesses and our partners in the lending community. So we recognize that a lot of people on this call are coming from different points of view. We have lenders, community leaders, businesses, and organizations providing business assistance. We're going to do our best today to provide you the information you need on our programs and any additional resources so that you can understand and utilize them to help your businesses and all of those people in your community. So first off, I would like to welcome Danny Schlegel, who is our small business and entrepreneur advisor to the governor, who's going to give us a quick update on the SBA disaster loan. He might have to jump off on another call, so we're going to let him go first. Dan?
Thank you, Secretary Keys. So yes, so the Small Business Administration, to be clear, is a federal program, and they have a long-standing disaster loan assistance program. It's typically used for natural disasters, but they have gotten the authorization to open this program up to businesses affected by COVID-19. And this program requires each state to do some paperwork and demonstrate economic injury to specific businesses in the disaster area. And so we have just completed that. So the governor's office has submitted all that paperwork yesterday morning, and we are hopeful that a decision from SBA or a final approval from SBA will be coming very soon. So when that is available, we will be sending out a press release from the governor's office with all the information and how to apply, and be fielding questions as that comes up. To be clear, this is administered by the Small Business Administration's Office of Disaster Assistance, and they are based in Sacramento, but there is an online loan application form, and there's also telephone assistance and some partners around the state. We will be standing up to help with technical assistance when the time comes. Just an overview of the program. These are loans up to $2 million. The interest rate for small businesses is 3.75%, and for nonprofits it's 2.75%. Repayments can be up to 30 years in order to keep payments affordable, and loan terms are case-by-case basis. And one thing to note here that SBA makes clear is that businesses with credit options elsewhere are not eligible. And it's a little bit unclear exactly what that means, but if people are able to find credit at their traditional lenders, it may complicate trying to get this particular loan, which is why we have other options that from the state level that will be covered today. And the website you'll see at the bottom of your screen, sba.gov/disaster. When the time comes, you can go there and you can look up New Mexico, and it'll show you which counties are covered in the state. And for us, we will be covering all 33 counties. That's all I have. Thank you, Secretary.
Great, thanks, Dan. Next, I want to reintroduce Joanna Nelson from the New Mexico Economic Development Department, and she is managing our COVID-19 Business Loan Guarantee Program, and will explain it for us.
Thank you, Secretary. Good afternoon. I would like to provide information about our loan guarantee program to businesses affected negatively by COVID-19. We have been getting many phone calls about this program. We've been getting a lot of phone calls from businesses inquiring where do they go for operating capital. So this is our attempt to provide support and assistance to businesses as well as lenders. This is a guarantee program, meaning that we are not lending out money to small businesses, but we are guaranteeing a business loan or a line of credit with a lending institution. So that means that we could work with a bank, a credit union, a CDFI to securitize and help limit the risk for those institutions so that they are able to make a loan or a line of credit to a business in need. We can guarantee a portion of the loan up to 80% of the principal or up to an amount of $50,000. That means that our guarantee can't exceed $50,000 or it can't exceed 80% of that principal amount. The loan proceeds are flexible on our end and can be used for a number of uses. What we're hearing from businesses currently is they need access to working capital, money to pay for inventory, to cover payroll, to pay for operational costs like paying their rent, things like that. This, of course, can be used for those uses. We don't have a limitation on that. We can guarantee the loan up to 6 months. Because this health emergency situation is we don't know what's going to happen. We hope that it's only for a limited amount of time, but we are saying that we can guarantee a loan up to 6 months, and at 6 months the lender can reapply for an additional 6 months for a total of 12 months of guarantee. This guarantee program is not limited to industry. We're opening it up to all industries, including retail, restaurants, caterers, hair salons, any type of industry. It doesn't matter the length of time in business, the number of employees. We are leaving our guidelines flexible. Of course, we want to reiterate that this guarantee program is dependent on the lender. Whatever requirements and guidelines a lender sets up or has, NMEDD will work with that lender. We're not able to decide, or in this case, we are not deciding those points of discretion. In the application, businesses disclose how they are negatively impacted in the application. And that's important to point out. In that case, we've had many inquiries about how do we prove that we are negatively impacted by the COVID-19. We have a review group that will review each application and review that answer of how the business describes how they're affected, and the review group votes to make that decision. Again, we're leaving this program as flexible as we can to be able to work with and assist and support as many businesses as we can. So if we can talk about the process of how to apply, the key thing to think about in this program is a borrower does not directly apply to NMEDD. A borrower needs to go to their lending institution or find a lending institution, work with them, discuss their needs, identify, what amount they need, discuss the project. The lender then applies to us and provides the information about the loan and about the project to us. We enter into an agreement with the lender, signing that we guarantee X amount of dollars for X amount of time. In the case of a default, we will pay the bank that agreed upon money within 30 days. And all of that is signed between us and the bank in a legal agreement. We are putting that legal agreement online for lenders to be able to access that and review with their legal team if that's something that could help expedite the process. The lender then makes the loan, and we guarantee the loan in case of a default. So again, I want to point out we've gotten some questions about what are the terms, things like that. Those terms are defined by each respective lender. We do have a clause in our guarantee agreement that we encourage the banks to have a fair and reasonable term. We are talking to a lot of lenders right now who are in the works of creating their own relief programs for mortgage payments and loan payments, things like that. This is outside of that. This is a different program. So I do want to reiterate that this program is set up to be extremely responsive to needs. We will get a decision to a lender within 24 hours. We'll have that response to them. The guarantee is up online. Once the lender signs it, it's up to the bank to be able to fund the business. If you go to our website, you can link to our response page, and this is a direct link. You can see that lenders can apply at this link. You can get there by going to our main page, gonm.biz, or you can use this link. It takes you to the response page, and that's where we have the application that a lender would submit for this program. We also did put a PDF of the application, and that's available for review if you want to look at that before you submit the online application. You can contact this email, edd-finance@state.nm.us. You can call my number, that's my personal cell phone number, or contact Mark Roper, that's his phone number, and then you can email me as well, and that email will provide on this presentation. I do want to point out that on that landing page, on that response page, that's where we are putting all updates regarding business resources and special programs that we have found for businesses negatively impacted. Keep checking that web page. We're getting a lot of questions about what is available, where do I go? We'll be updating that every day, so please go to that website. In fact, the link under that one, under federal resources, 2 minutes before we jumped on this call, we got this link from one of our federal partners. This is a comprehensive listing of what every federal agency is doing to support those that are affected by the COVID-19. So we'll put that on our webpage. And this also, we want to point out the organizations that are available for technical assistance or emergency planning. That is New Mexico Small Business Development Center. They have locations all over the state. WEST is a great resource in this regard. SCORE, I know that they have switched to webinar or Zoom meetings. MEP can help with emergency planning as well, and the Loan Fund is able to offer technical assistance. I do want to mention one really key question that we keep getting. After we talk about the loan guarantee program, we get questions from businesses that are wondering, where do I go? Which lenders can I go to access this program? In this emergency situation, we have had to work backward in the way that we created the program, and now we're having to get the word out about it, especially to our lending partners. We will work with any bank, any CDFI, any lending organization that is able to, that wants to participate in our program. That being said, we do want to compile a list of lenders that are actively engaged in this program, so that we can have a list of those that are identified to be able to point businesses to. What we're hearing from businesses, and it's good to keep this in mind, or what we're hearing from lenders is that they are not necessarily, some of them are not necessarily wanting to take on new customers during this time to do emergency loans. However, they are working on creating relief programs for their current customers. So that's why it's important, and we ask actively to our lending partners to please identify yourself and let us know if you are actively engaged in this program and want to participate in this program. In addition, we are soliciting information from organizations, special programs, agencies, any information about programs that are offering support to businesses that are negatively affected by COVID-19. So please send us that information. If you're an organization that has a grant, you have a special loan program, and want to be included on our website, please provide us this key information and send it to me. Here's my email, and we will put that up on our response page. We have so far compiled a list of federal assistance, state assistance, and even looking at the philanthropic sector. Some of the community foundations are offering small grants. So we're trying to identify every program that's out there so we can point our businesses to the right place. One of the places that you can stay connected with us to get updates in addition to that response page is, here's a link again to our website, our main page, gonm.biz. If you join the mailing list, this is also a surefire way to get any updates if we are sending out e-blasts. So make sure you're signed up to the mailing list. Here's a link to our Facebook and a link to our Twitter if we're using our social media platforms to get information out. So, and that's it for that program.
Joanna, I also wanted to mention, thank you so much. I also wanted to mention that the governor has put up a page, which is newmexico.gov, and it does have our loan program on it, but more importantly, it has a lot of the health information that you might need, any kind of food assistance programs. So definitely check out that. It is newmexico.gov. So next I'd like to introduce Mark Roper. He is our NMEDD Division Director, and he'll speak about our LEDA No Interest Loan Program. Mark?
Thank you, Secretary Keys. I want to mention before I start, if you do have any questions, comments, concerns about the Guaranty program, please type them in so we can start working on those responses as soon as I finish up talking about our LEDA loan program. So if you have questions that have come up on SBA or the loan guarantee program, please type them in there while I'm talking. As everybody is probably aware, the Local Economic Development Act Fund allows us to grant money for business expansions and business relocations. But there's also a mechanism within there that does allow us to grant loans through the Local Economic Development Act. So we have opened that loan portion up at 0% at a maximum of 2 years to eligible businesses. We're still bound by the statute of the Local Economic Development Act that limits our participation to manufacturers, non-retail service providers that exceed 50% revenue from outside of the state of New Mexico. There's also a provision that does allow for participation with retail business, but only in communities of less than 15,000 people. So there are those restrictions in place that that apply also to the loan as they would to the grant program. In addition, we are limited by statute to utilizing this money, whether it be through grant or loan, for expenditures to land, building, and infrastructure. So this loan cannot be used for the things that probably are most prevalently needed right now, working capital, general operating costs, and those. But what we can do to a qualifying business is we could provide these loans to do such things as offer relief of lease payments, to relief of mortgage payments, those types of things that would then free up cash flow for the businesses to handle such things as payroll and operating costs. So that is the way that this loan would most likely be able to help a business, because in this situation under these emergency standards, we don't expect expansions to be happening during this time frame. So we would anticipate most of the loans going to an item such as that. We do have to follow the same processes that are in place, meaning that we have to partner with a local city or county. The loan, just like a grant, has to be approved and passed by ordinance. So there will be a time factor here of probably 60 to 90 days to get an application from start to finish through the process. So we will, as required by statute, require collateral security equal to the amount of the loan. So there are strings, very significant strings attached to this program, but it is zero interest. We will go up to 2 years on these loans at 0%, and we will offer favorable terms. We're expecting most of those terms to probably be a balloon payment at the end, but if the company feels like they want to make interim payments, obviously we can negotiate that with them. But if you need more assistance, contact your local regional representative. You can go to our website, again, gonm.biz, and see which regional rep is in your region that covers your region, and they can help you and assist you work through this process. And you can see my contact there. I'm there to help anybody and everybody. So there's a list of the regional representatives, all 6 of them, and you can contact them directly. And of course, I'm always there to support and help. So again, if you have any questions on that, if you have any questions on SBA and or the loan guarantee program, please type them so we can answer them now.
Okay,
and
wonderful.
I think I'm finished, so I'll turn it back over to the secretary.
Thanks, Mark. So Joanna, I think the questions are coming up on your feed. So if you just wanted to read them off as they come in, that'd be great.
Sure, thank you. Okay, we got a question from, this is to you. Dan, are you still on the line?
Yes, I'm here, Joanna.
Okay. We have a question from a participant that's asking, is the SBA Economic Injury Disaster Direct? Is this a loan that they are going to access directly from the SBA, or do they need to involve a bank?
Thanks, Joanna. Thanks for the question. So this is a loan program that is distributed straight from the SBA. So unlike the Economic Development Department's loan guarantee program, you don't need to go first to a traditional lender. This is an application that goes straight to the SBA, and they administer the funds from the federal government.
Thank you. And this is another SBA-related question about I know there's been some questions about that clause that they have that you can't access credit elsewhere. Do you want to provide a little bit more insight into that, or do we have additional information on that? We're getting questions about clarifying that point.
Yeah, thanks, Joanna. So it's I don't have too good of information on exactly how that functions in practice. But if you're not able to find reasonable credit elsewhere, then this would be a program for you. Say, you're going to a traditional lender, and the only way you're going to be able to get a loan is at super crazy interest rates and having to do exorbitant personal guarantees or something like that. That would probably qualify you to take advantage of this program. I apologize, I don't have the best information on that, but we will disseminate information on that as we learn more about how this functions in practice.
Okay, great. Thank you. And let me check to see if there's, okay, I think that's it. If you do have questions for the SBA disaster loan for Daniel, go ahead and get those in because he has to jump off of the call soon. We have a couple of questions about the loan guarantee program. Marcos is asking, what position is the COVID program guarantee in? And I'll answer that. So we do sign an agreement with the bank. We are only putting up 80% of the guarantee. Ideally, the bank would have identified some type of collateral in their loan. So we do ask that the bank utilize that security first, and then they're able to access our guarantee. So hopefully that answers that question. And then we've got a question about, can a mom and pop business apply? So really getting at the smaller micro businesses. And for the loan guarantee program, that is correct. It's not limited by size. I will defer and make a point to say it again, that our guarantee program depends on the lender. So whatever bank, credit union, CDFI, micro lender that you're working with, you are conforming to their guidelines. For example, a micro business, a newly startup business might have better luck approaching one of the micro lenders or a smaller community bank. It will be up to them, but we do not have any limitations on the businesses who can apply to the guarantee program. And Adrian Gallegos, who is with the State of New Mexico Small Business Development Center, is making a point saying that the SBDC is available to provide assistance on the application. So they are saying that, and she's also pointing out on our website, you can access that application. We did get another point that I want to raise up that Cindy Jarvison is pointing out, that PTACs are available to provide technical assistance as well. These are the procurement technical assistance centers that are available to help businesses that are doing federal contracting, and we'll link to them as well. Mark, we had a few questions on the LEDA program. So if you want to rehash that, someone is asking about what is the length of term for the LEDA 0% loan?
Right now, we're saying a maximum of 2 years on a LEDA term. So we would work with the business to see if that up to 2 years. And as far, like I was saying, as far as payback terms, we'll work that out with the business. I anticipate most of them to be a balloon payment at the end.
Great. We have a question from Cassie, who's down in Deming. She's asking, she's got a good question about, is there anything the local governments can put into place to help expedite the LEDA process?
Well, that's a really good question, Kathy. We have to follow the rules of Open Meetings Act as well as the rules of enacting an ordinance. So, those are the restrictions. But outside of that, yes, I mean, a local government can do such things as call special meetings to take action to move things along as fast as possible. That would be probably the best thing that a local government could do as far as to move a LEDA loan through faster, would be to have the flexibility to have special meetings.
Okay, thank you. Someone, Stan, is asking about, to again repeat the process of how to sign up for the Guaranty program as a participating bank. And I'm going to pull up that slide one more time. There's a request to see it. So you can go to this page, the very first link that we're mentioning. You can go to that page, and there is an application that says lenders apply here. You will also see a PDF of the application too for your review if you want to look at it prior to submitting that online application. Hopefully that can help. We did get another question from Dale about what are the criteria. This is a LEDA question, Mark. What are the criteria to be a qualified entity for the LEDA loan?
So you would have to meet the criteria of being a business that manufactures, builds something, makes something, or be a non-service retail business that derives over 50% of your revenue from outside of the state of New Mexico. So in our terms, you would have to be an economic-based business in order to qualify.
Thank you. Jacob has a question on the 80% guarantee for the business loan guarantee program. Does that guarantee 80% of total loan or 80% of loss if there is a loss? We are guaranteeing 80% of the total loan. And Dan, if you're still on the call, we did get a question about what is the rate for the SBA disaster loan, if you want to highlight that.
Yes, I'm still here. Thanks, Joanna. So the rate for small businesses is 3.75%, and for nonprofits is 2.75%.
We had a question from Russell, who is asking, lenders that are already enrolled in the collateral assistance program are they already signed up for our guarantee program? This is a great question. We have a collateral assistance program that we have been operating for the past 2 years. In that program, lenders enroll into the program and we purchase CDs to act as collateral. Currently, we have suspended that program and switched focus and funding to the Guaranty program. The Guaranty program acts very similarly to the collateral program. However, in this case, no money is transferring from the state to the bank unless there is a default. In the case of a default, we would we'll have an application that you submit to receive funding within 30 days. All that a lender has to do to activate the program is to sign this guarantee per project. And to repeat, this project or this guarantee agreement is outlined. It's the legal document that's outlining the state is responsible for paying X amount of money in X amount of time to the bank should the borrower default. So there is no need to enroll, quote unquote, into the program. However, when you submit the application, we sign the agreement, and that's what you do to participate in the program. So great question. And then we had an SBA question. What was the program that the consumer goes directly to the SBA? Can you repeat the name of the program, Dan, and maybe how they access the loans, disaster loans?
Sure. So it's the Small Business Administration's Economic Injury Disaster Loans, and it could be reached at sba.gov/disaster. And again, it's up to $2 million, 3.75% interest rate for small businesses, 2.75 for nonprofits. The best way and the easiest way to get information is online, and you can see which counties for each state are eligible for the disaster loan. And for New Mexico, it will be all 33 counties. Again, it's the best way to get information is online, and you can actually submit your loan application there as well. There will be information for a toll-free number to call, and you can also submit applications to a physical location as well. So all of the above.
Thank you. And we will be putting that link as soon as we have it on our response page that you can get to by going to gonm.biz as well. Lisa is asking a question. This would be directed to you, Dan, that I think is on a lot of people's minds. Do we have any idea how long it will take to receive the SBA funding once it's active?
Yes, great question. So the SBA, said that typically they can turn these around in around 2 to 3 weeks is when they can get an approval. And then it's another 5 days or so for the first disbursement of capital. There is a caveat that the SBA is doing this for the entire state right now, or will be soon. So there could be a little bit of a backlog, but they have been staffing up in order to make sure that they could respond to folks. So hopefully that won't be too much of an issue.
Thank you. We had a question about the Guaranty program that is talking about and this is from Richard, but would he be able to refinance a loan under the Guaranty program? And I do want to answer this question lightly. We do not deny that use of funding. However, you have to go through the application process and answer how your business is negatively affected by the COVID virus. And it has to be a loan that is approved in a project approved by your lender. And in this case, if you are refinancing to a lesser amount to help free up capital to pay for operating costs or payroll, that makes sense. So it directly is not denied within our Guarantee program. So, okay, I think that about does it for the questions. If you have additional questions, please reach out to us. All of our contacts are listed in this webinar, and we are working really hard. Most of us are working nonstop to get the information that you need and get you the resources that you need. We will put this link on our YouTube channel, and we will send you the presentation. So just to reiterate and repeat, we are looking for special projects, special assistance programs for businesses affected by COVID-19. So please send us those as soon as possible, and we can get those online. And if you are a lender, please reach out to us if you need additional information. We can provide you with some guidelines about and bullet points about the program, and we'll get you any information that you need so that you can take advantage of this Guarantee program. So anything
Joanna,
else from?
Yes,
Sure.
Joanna, if I can jump in, to the lenders that are still on the call, we would really, really, really like to be able to assemble a list of lenders that are willing to talk to the businesses that we're talking to. 90% of the calls that I'm getting are asking, who can I talk to? I've talked to my bank and they're not interested. So if we can have a list of lenders that are willing to have conversations with businesses on this program, it would be a great benefit to the citizens of New Mexico. So please let us know if you want to participate.
Thank you for highlighting that. Okay, if there's nothing else, we'll go ahead and log off. So thank you for joining, and thank you to the Cabinet Secretary and Daniel and Mark for your time.
Thanks, Joanna.
Thank you, Joanna.